Welcome to day 34 of the 300 movie challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film actually of 1997, of March 1997, sorry, which was Liar Liar, and I don't want to comment right now because I can't right now.
Let me, okay, let me just say, it's been, three and a half months
Yeah.
It's 3.5
since we
months.
watched the last one,
Now I'm still coughing even after 3.5 months.
because of various reasons, this
Yes.
break.
Yeah, so if we sound a little bit out of practice, that is why.
So that's part of it. There's another reason is the fact that the movie is fucking terrible.
I don't even quite know how to, like, what I even want to say.
I don't know what my, like... I just felt so bored and, like, a little bit frustrated throughout the whole thing.
Like, okay, like when it finished, Tara was like, "It's not as bad as Dumb and Dumber," which it is. It's not as bad because here's the thing: Dumb and Dumber, we were angry the whole time.
Yeah.
This, we were bored 2/3 of the time and angry 1/3 of the time.
Yeah. That's
Is
an
that fairly
improvement.
accurate?
Yeah.
That's approximately accurate. Like, I was barely even paying attention half the time. So.
Yeah, it was. If it wasn't boring, okay, like, I've just determined that whatever Jim Carrey's style of humor is, it's not funny. He's not entertaining. He's just, you stare at him and you watch him and you're just like, fucking go away. And it doesn't, because he's the star of the movie. Woo, he's so great. And he's not, it's awful. It's not quite as insultingly bad as Dumb and Dumber, but again, when it's not painful, it's painful because it's boring. And it's...
You didn't really feel anything for any of the characters.
No, every
No.
character's either... Yeah, you have no connection, because again, they're either like shitty people, right? Or
Yeah,
they're
still.
like... They're
Unrealistic, I
unrealistically
guess?
nice. Yeah, they're all flat pieces of cardboard. Again, they're either like just shitty people, or they're like too good in like a unrealistic way that makes everything awkward and not believable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, okay,
Like,
seemed
Val,
like-
you...
okay,
Alright.
it seemed to me that like the main point, not point, that's the wrong word, but just like the main like goal, I guess, of the movie was like, oh look, he's doing all these shitty things. Oh my god, but it's like acknowledging that you're a piece of shit doesn't make you not a piece of shit.
No, it just makes you a more, like, enlightened piece of shit, basically.
And it's like,
Like, well, I was gonna mention, during the movie you mentioned that it actually, if the movie could portray it well, there actually was like a message in the movie, but the movie itself was not even portraying that well.
yeah, no, the point that like, and again, they kind of went against the point at the end. Like,
Yeah.
in that middle part, it was kind of like the, like, again, I don't remember. What guy's name was Fletcher? Who the fuck named this a Fletcher? Anyway, okay. So he was all like saying to his son that like, you know, sometimes we gotta lie or whatever, and like, because that was the thing, trying to get him like reverse the stupid witch to not lie or whatever. However the fuck that works. And like, the thing is, I'm like, you know, this is actually not a terrible message, because it kind of reminds me of like, this is like the worst kind of example because I'm comparing, you know, Liar Liar to something like this. But the Southern Raiders episode from The Last Airbender.
Oh, yeah!
Because again, it's that message where it's like, you know, you have these like bad like thoughts and like something where you're like, I really want to do something that's like immoral, but like given context and stuff, it's like okay.
Yeah, it can be understandable, but
Yeah,
it
it's
depends on what you
understandable
do
and, like,
with it.
what you do with it and like the desire behind it and like, you know, that for example, that episode portrayed that really well because it's kind of like saying, see, you can, it's not like, you know, it's kind of the whole thing that like kind of a problem. I don't know how I'm relating this shit to all of this, But it's kind of like the problem with like fundamentalist religions, where they're like, oh, that bad thought you have, that makes you a bad person,
Mhm.
right? Well, that's kind of the whole idea of like original sin and shit like that. Where instead it's like saying, you know, no, you can have these bad thoughts, but it's how you work with them and how you control yourself with them. Like, that's what's important.
Yeah.
And it's like, it seemed like they were kind of touching upon that a little bit. And I was like, oh, if this was actually a not terrible movie, this could be important. But then it's like they reversed that near the end of the movie anyway, because then it's just like, oh, I'm just telling the truth for real now.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like,
gonna turn over a new leaf.
Yeah.
all
But
of a sudden.
even that, for the movie made it seem like telling the truth was just saying whatever was on your mind, which isn't how that works.
No.
Saying whatever is on your mind doesn't equal truth. Truth
Yeah.
just means that it doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to think about your answer still, too.
Right, because that's the thing. It's like, it wasn't even like it can't be. Is it really lying if it's an opinion? Like,
Yeah.
how does that might work? Like, I get
I don't
like
know.
lying to yourself about it or something, but still, it doesn't make any damn sense. It's
Like, saying whatever is on your mind, like, having no mouth to, like, mind-to-mouth filter doesn't automatically equal that you're telling the truth all the time.
No, it means
Yeah,
you're
it's
drunk.
just
That's
Yeah.
what it means. That's what drunk
you're
people
just
do.
constantly drunk.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can vouch because that's what happens when I get drunk.
Oh my god.
The last time I got drunk, I sent like 8 voice messages to my girlfriend for basically just saying "I love you" over and over again, and not like changing any way I said it. And I like went backwards. And I was like, God damn! I just said the same shit like 8 times. So, but anyway, it's not, and it's again, I don't understand how people can find Jim Carrey that funny. His motions and mannerisms just make him come off as just like. Again, it's the whole thing of like, oh, he's awkward, lol, and it's like, no, he's just awkward.
I don't know. I guess it's
Yeah.
like a certain brand of humor that just doesn't work for us.
It
I
just
don't
doesn't
know.
appeal to us.
It's not, again, it's not as offensively bad.
No, certainly not.
The
But
thing is, though, I did notice like there were several like memes where I'm like, oh, this came from that, and it was just like kind of
oh
disappointing.
yeah, we were talking about that.
Because that
because-
means that again, several people actually do like this, and it's just
Yeah.
I get like, and okay, and this is something that kind of bothered me is that like the tone of the movie kept switching back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Like
it
it
would
was
always.
kind of like at parts it would be like ooh like kind of scandalous adult comedy, but then it would turn into like fucking like family film whimsy, and it was
Yeah, I don't know
it was
like
weird.
why. I don't know how it like managed to even. What was the rating for this movie? Was it
PG-13.
PG-13?
It was
Confused what the
PG-13,
rating
but it like sometimes acted like it was like a G-rated comedy film.
And then sometimes it seemed a little bit raunchier than it should have been.
Yeah, it's just so
Uh,
bizarre.
I don't know because I was like, is this an R-rated
Yeah, I was-
comedy?
really confused as to what the rating was too.
It's PG-13. So.
Oh yeah, and then there was the fact that her boyfriend was almost looked exactly.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
That way the
Just
boyfriend
the
like.
sheer fact that they look so similar.
Not only did they look so similar, but they like were acting similar too. But then they were saying how like they're totally different. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're the same person.
I think that was the only time where like we all kind of laughed a bit because we were just like, they look the same, they sound the same, they act the same.
But it's not even. I don't
Was it
even-
intentional?
I don't know. Someone's gonna be like, oh, it is, if you just don't get the humor. Whatever.
Well, we don't get the humor period, so
No.
you don't even have to, like,
Yeah.
at all. Just don't.
And then, I mean, okay, on like a technical level, I don't know, the acting's not very good.
No.
It's like,
I mean,
it's not
beginning of the
terrible,
movie,
but
you
it's
can
just
see
like, eh. And,
I've seen better.
well, yeah, kids
As
not very
mentioned,
good.
everyone was a flat piece of cardboard.
I mean, I feel like that was a bit more the writing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Overall, it's just. Let me put it this way. The combination of boring plus annoyed is, I think, what makes this particularly bad for me. Because, again, comparing this to something like Tin Cup or Bed of Roses, like, I don't know. Okay, Tin Cup was pretty damn boring, but I don't know. It's just somehow the balance of Liar Liar between the boringness and annoyingness like made it worse. I don't know. Like, it was just so hard to sit through. Whereas for other of those, I feel like I could kind of turn off my brain for a little bit and, like, not care. But it's like, it was almost so boring, I couldn't, like, ignore it.
I'm not even sure, like, what my final feelings are. I just kind of feel like I wasted about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's kind of how. No, it's actually really funny. So, as mentioned, there was a break, and I told them that I didn't even want to remember what the next movie was because I wanted to go into it blind. And the first thing Valen told me was that it was a Jim Carrey movie. And I was like, dang it.
It's a good thing we didn't tell you.
It's a very good thing you didn't tell me.
At least the next movie seems to be a completely different kind of thing.
At least I feel like like we said that we thought it might have potential just based off of the synopsis. It could at least be mildly entertaining.
I don't see how it can be this bad.
I don't think it can be.
Because again, like, the kind of movie that the next one is, like, if it's bad, I feel like it's gonna be, like, entertainingly bad. Right?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
time copy, kind of, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We shouldn't speculate before we watch it, because then
we should know better than to speculate at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done that before, and it's ended very tragically for us.
Yeah, pretty much. Is this Sora treatment worthy?
I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just so, like, my head kind of hurts.
I mean,
I've been, like, sick.
If the movie causes you to have a headache, don't you think that deserves a Sora treatment?
I guess, but then I don't know if there will be worse.
Yeah. I mean...
It's kind of a hard decision.
I just don't know how I feel about this movie. I know I don't like the movie, but I don't know
You don't know how much you don't like it?
Yeah, I don't know how much I don't like it.
Yeah, that's kind of the same problem with me, where I'm just like, I feel like I disliked it about as much as I disliked Waterworld, but I don't really have, like, a conclusive feeling about it. I just feel kind of, like, numb.
Yeah. I feel like if I wake up the next morning, I can just remember it.
We'll add it at the end if it happens. I don't know.
So if there's a Sora treatment, you'll see it.
Yeah,
Not then it's
like
just escaped it, I guess.
We'll take a vote tomorrow then, I guess.
Okay. So, I guess... maybe enjoy the Sora treatment at the end of this. If not, we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to restart this whole cycle. There's a Sora treatment. We reintroduce all the characters in this thing, including Sora.
Even though, to anyone watching these, it will just been in a day.
Yeah, but it's okay. Maybe they'll enjoy the fact that we feel kind of lost right now. Okay, so that's a wrap. We will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
This recording was much of a disaster in the movie.